On this Fire Prevention Week, we want to bring you a special program, and for that program we're filming in the Thole Street Fire Station. With us here is Chief W.J. Lewis, who heads the Norfolk Fire Division. We have with us today Mr. Edward Gregory, who is with the Safety Division of the Virginia Department of Labor and Industry, and we're going to really build some fires here today to give you folks in the audience some idea about the hazards that are involved in your own homes. A lot of things that you might not, excuse me, a lot of things that you might not think about it. Chief, you think we might be able to teach them something?
I'm sure we will. I've seen this demonstration short while back, and it's well worth looking at. And I'm sure that anyone that sees it can get something out of it and realize that the conditions that are shown here also can exist in their own homes.
All right, well, let's get over here with Mr. Gregory and have him go through the routine. All right, Mr. Gregory, will you go ahead with the demonstration, please, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Cost. Your State Department of Labor and Industry welcomes you to this fire demonstration. It is hoped that through this demonstration you may better realize the potential fire hazards that exist both in homes and plants throughout our Commonwealth, and realizing these fire hazards you may be better enabled to eliminate them. Fires cost millions of dollars in property damage each year and take untold numbers of lives. These fires need not have occurred. Now, to start this demonstration, I will use this alcohol torch, and here I have a piece of paper. I'll take this paper and run it through the flame of the torch. You see nothing that resembles burning. I say to you, paper will not burn. Here I have a piece of wood. I'll run the wood through the flame of the torch. Still you see nothing that resembles burning, so I say to you, wood will not burn. Here I have a piece of coal. I'll run the coal through the flame of the torch. Still no resemblance of burning, so I say to you, coal will not burn. This is a piece of magnesium. No doubt many of you read of the destruction, and maybe some of you saw destruction caused by the magnesium bomb to cities and towns in England during World War II. I will pass this piece of magnesium through the flame of the torch. Still you see nothing that resembles burning, so I say to you, magnesium will not burn. Here I have a pan of kerosene. I'll strike a match, put it in the kerosene. You see the kerosene readily extinguish the flame of the match, so I say to you, kerosene will not burn. And I know what you'll say to me. You'll say, that fellow up there has holes in his head. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I know all these things will burn. Well, it's true. Everything here will burn. The reason they didn't burn is this. Please remember, this is very important. No solid or liquid can burn in the solid or liquid state, but it must be heated to the vaporization state in order to burn. Gasoline will give off vapors even in a snowbank. Therefore, gasoline is one of the most widely used and also the most widely misused of all of our vapor-giving liquids. Now, with this gasoline, we will show you the three elements necessary to have a fire. To do that, we'll let this gasoline represent one of our elements, that being our element of fuel. Here I have a 10,000 volt electrode. I'll let this electrode represent a second element, which is an element of heat. As you notice, we have two sides of the triangle lit now. Still one side is missing. If that be true, that means that I can put this electrode into this gasoline and turn it on and nothing will happen. Let's try it and see. We'll put the electrode down into the gasoline and turn the electrode on. You see nothing that resembles burning. That brings us to our third and final element necessary to have a fire, that element being oxygen. The air that we breathe contains approximately 21% oxygen, but if we can cut that percent of oxygen down to around 17%, we can stop burning. That's the reason so many plants nowadays have fire doors on them, to do just that. Now, somewhere between this liquid and the top of this vial, there is a sufficient amount of oxygen to produce burning. We will find where that is by starting at the top of the gas and coming up. Now, I will do this rather quickly so that I won't get burned. You see, I got about halfway up before the fire started. And you notice now only the vapors are burning, the liquid is not burning. Now to put out this fire, all I have to do is cut off the oxygen. And I cut off the fire. Now this jar of gasoline represents the potential power of 60 sticks of dynamite. To prove that to you, I'm going to borrow only a couple of drops of this and put it in this little container, and I hope I don't get any more than a couple of drops. After doing that, we'll put a stopper on this and shake it up to break up the molecules in the gas. Now we will bar these leads from this electrode and put on this spark plug. Then we will turn on the current. Now if I may have your attention here to this simulated gas stove. Many accidents are caused by gas stoves exploding. To prove this, we're going to add some gas to this gas stove, and then we'll put this electrode on the stove to produce our source of heat. And then we will turn on the electrode. That could happen in any home. It has happened in many homes. The pilot light will go out on the stove. The wife will go in, not knowing that the pilot light has been cut out, and put a match in the oven. Please be sure that your pilot light is lit at all times before you strike a match around a gas stove. Up at this end of the table, we have had a pan of grease getting hot. This could be a pan of grease in your own home that has gotten too hot and caught on fire. The first thing you will usually do is take this pan of hot grease and run over to the sink and throw water in it. If you do that, you've been doing a very dangerous thing, because the water only spreads the flames. All you'd have to do is cut out one of our elements, which is oxygen. You see what can happen?
I believe we turn out the...
See, the cotton readily burns. Many accidents have been caused by this.
Well, Chief Lewis, you think that was a good lesson there?
It's an excellent lesson, Joel, and people will just take heed to what they've seen and look in their own homes for the hazards that exist, or know exist in lots of them. Why, I'm sure that we can cut our fire loss down and our number of fires down considerably.
I know you'd like to see that.
I surely would.
Yes, sir. There's nothing more happy than a fireman who isn't working, because it means that the city is a safe city, right?
Anytime our business is dull, it's good business.
Good. Thank you very much, Chief W.J. Lewis of the Norfolk Fire Division. We hope, folks, that you certainly do remember some of the lessons that you learned in this program today.